Welcome back, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because, wow, we have hit a massive milestone in our curriculum. We are officially on day 16, and today is all about mastering CrewAI. Up until now, we've really just been looking at what individual AI models can do. But today we're shifting gears completely. We're going to look at how you can build these incredibly powerful, fully automated ecosystems where multiple AI entities actually work together on your behalf. Honestly, this explainer is going to completely change how you view productivity and automation. So get comfortable and let's get building.
Okay, so we're going to conquer this in two distinct phases today. First up, we've got the learn components. These are basically our foundational building blocks. We'll unpack exactly what makes up an AI ecosystem by looking at crew, tasks, process, and agents. We're going to check off every single one of these learning objectives so you know the theory inside and out. And then we pivot to the project phase. That's where we take all that theory and apply it to a totally real-world scenario, building a content creation crew.
All right, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for the explainer today. Number 1, enter CrewAI. 2, agents, the AI workforce. 3, tasks, defining the mission. 4, process, organizing the crew. And 5, our content creation project.
So starting with part 1, day 16, enter CrewAI. To truly wrap your head around how this entire framework operates, I actually want you to picture a classic movie heist. Which brings us to part 2, agents, the AI workforce. Right, so in the world of CrewAI, agents are your individual AI entities. If we go back to that heist analogy for a second, the agents are the who. They're the unique specialists. Think about it. In a heist movie, you've got the safecracker, you've got the getaway driver, right? Well, in CrewAI, you might have a senior data analyst agent or maybe a creative copywriter agent. Each one is powered by a specific LLM and armed with custom tools. The whole point is that you want highly focused entities bringing really deep, specific capabilities to the table.
Moving right along to part 3, tasks, defining the mission.
Because look, even the best getaway driver is totally useless if they don't know where the bank is, right? Tasks are the specific jobs, the missions, or the assignments that we hand over to the AI. If the agents are the who, then the tasks are the what. These are the actual, tangible jobs our AI agents need to successfully execute. And listen, a task isn't just saying something vague like write a blog. No, a task is saying analyze this specific set of data and write a 500-word summary highlighting the top 3 trends. It's precise. The more clearly you define the mission, the more effectively your specialists are going to execute it.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the dynamic between the two. You've got raw potential on one side and clear direction on the other. On the left, we have the agents, our who, and on the right, the tasks, our what. And the thing is, one literally cannot function without the other in this ecosystem. You can have an absolutely brilliant specialist, but without a mission, they're just sitting idle. On the flip side, you can have a fantastic mission, but without the specialist, it just never gets done. The real magic happens when we lock these two things together.
Which leads us to part 4, process, organizing the crew.
So how do the agents know exactly when to execute their tasks, or who goes first? Well, we need a process. The process is basically the overarching workflow. It's the master blueprint that dictates exactly how and when things happen. Going back to our movie, the getaway driver doesn't just pull up to the front doors before the safecracker has even opened the vault, right? Timing and sequence are absolutely everything. The process governs our entire AI ecosystem. It ensures that the agents complete their tasks in a highly logical, structured sequence, making sure that the output from Agent A flows seamlessly into the inbox of Agent B at the exact right moment.
And that finally brings us to the ultimate definition of the day, the crew. A crew isn't just a bunch of bots sitting around in a digital room. It's the fully assembled, highly organized team of agents, paired perfectly with their specific tasks, governed by a logical process, and all operating together as one single unified unit. When you take the who, give them the what, and manage them with the how, you get the ultimate team. You get a crew.
So, putting it all together, here is your foundational formula for AI automation. Step 1, we assign our agents, figuring out exactly which specialists we need. Step 2, we define the tasks, writing out the exact missions they have to accomplish. Step 3, we establish the process, drawing up the blueprint of how these tasks connect to one another. And Step 4, we form the crew, locking the whole shebang together and pressing start.
Now, all of this theory is incredibly powerful, for sure. But a blueprint is just a piece of paper until you actually build the house. So how do we apply this learning? How do we take this brilliant system out of the realm of theory and bring it into reality to actually put it to work?
That brings us to part 5, our project, the content creation crew.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how those abstract concepts transform into a highly practical automated machine. We are going to conceptualize a content creation crew. We're basically taking the syllabus we just learned to build a digital media agency that lives right on your computer.
So, let's look at how these dots actually connect in practice. In our content creation crew, we aren't just relying on one AI doing everything. Instead, we create specific agents. We build a senior researcher agent, an expert writer agent, and a meticulous editor agent. Next, we assign them very specific tasks. The researcher's task is to scour the web for facts. The writer's task is to draft a compelling narrative using those facts. And the editor's task is to proofread for tone and grammar. Then we guide them with a sequential process. Obviously, the writer cannot start until the researcher finishes, and the editor has to wait for the writer's draft. Finally, they operate as one crew. You give a single command, and this entire assembly line springs to life, passing the baton from specialist to specialist until a perfectly polished piece of content just drops out at the end. It's honestly amazing.
I mean, just think about the incredible transformation we've covered today. We've gone from simply interacting with a single AI chat window to architecting entire autonomous teams of specialists that can execute complex, multi-step processes on command. You now know the underlying mechanics of agents, tasks, processes, and the crew itself. So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this one thought. Now that you have the blueprints to assemble an unstoppable digital heist team, what will your crew build? Thanks for focusing in today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.